Welcome back to The Blend. According to estimates, nearly 2 million seniors have faced some sort of abuse, and it's often happening where you thought placing them was safe.
That's right, but it's not just seniors we trust in others' care, but also kids, and they may be suffering as well. Here with the legal advice, if you believe your parents or kids might be getting abused or neglected, is Dallas Horton. Hello, Dallas. How are you?
How are
Good
you doing,
morning.
Sean?
Good
seeing you, pal.
Pleasure to see you.
Get over
Good
here.
Welcome
to see
back.
you, Miss Dow. Always a pleasure.
So you don't expect this, especially, I mean, you don't ever expect this, but the cost of elder care is so expensive. You do it so they're in good hands, but this seems to happen. What are the warning signs when it comes to elder abuse?
Well, unfortunately, there are people you trust, so you put your loved one in a nursing home or any type of care facility, a hospital, a nursing home, the care of a loved one sometimes. You got to still be vigilant. You can't turn them over. The problem is so prevalent. In Nevada, we actually passed a statute, 411395, wherein our legislature said, look, if you abuse an elderly person, you're going to pay 2 times damages, and if we can prove it's gross negligence, you're going to also pay the attorney's fees. So it's almost a treble damages statute. And it's failing to feed them. Is your loved one, and this is what's complicated because they're often in these places while they're ill. Is your loved one just losing a ton of weight? Are they starting to get bed sores and nobody's noticing?
Yeah.
Are they being fed by mouth when it says NPO, nothing by mouth, above the loved one? And one of the biggest things we've seen is a loved one visiting their loved one in a nursing home or even at their own home. When they have vascular dementia, they get them to change major legal documents. And that's abuse. You can't do that to a demented person. You can't make them cut one of their kids out and let the other kid get everything.
You have to be of sound mind.
Yes. And you can't fail to strap someone down that's an enormous fall risk because it's going to result in their death. They're elderly and their hips are just going to shatter. So there are so many ways. What it means is you don't get to physically or emotionally take advantage of an elderly person in a nutshell. And if you do, there's a heavy burden. And the only real way for a family to recognize this is occurring is very regular visits to that loved one. You have to know, are they being loved and cared for? And if they're not, you don't want a lawsuit, get them out, get them to a facility that will take care of them. They're bad lawsuits. The elderly people often die when they're neglected. They don't come back. They're in there because they're already not able to take care of themselves. So they really don't make it through these abusive situations. They just don't.
Who's doing the abusing? Is it just the employees, the staff? Is it all knowingly doing that?
I'll tell you, it's staff at nursing homes and hospitals. It's relatives, unfortunately, that we see a lot that take advantage, especially in legal documents. Elder abuse can occur when you leave your mom alone at Albertsons, and somebody just starts being terrible to them. If they're demented, they take all their money. Elder abuse can occur in your own neighborhood when someone comes to your house and knocks on your door, and this elderly person answers the door and they're selling magazines, and all of a sudden they multiply their order times 10. You know, these things are never okay.
It's not just in the nursing home.
No, it's not.
There's also with kids in daycare, there's also daycare neglect, right?
You know, kids are exposed everywhere. Where you should be most concerned about a child being abused with respect to sexual abuse, it's frankly anywhere where kids would be. Children's clubs, swimming pools, amusement parks, schools, Sunday schools, churches, wherever you would think you could trust someone is where a predator goes, okay? Because they want that built-in automatic trust that goes with that position. And with physical abuse, it's at school, it's at home, it's everywhere where a child can be touched improperly. And that is never acceptable. And oftentimes our children bottle up and don't want to talk, especially about sexual abuse.
So you have to look for those warning signs.
Boy, you really do with a kid. You got to see if they're touching themselves in places they shouldn't be touching themselves, if they're uncomfortable sitting certain ways, or if all of a sudden they're uncomfortable being touched. With respect to sexual abuse, with respect to physical abuse, you want to look for changes in their personality where they start, acting out violently or withdrawing completely. And then we want to hope to God they'll talk to us. And if they won't, we want to sit down with someone who's a professional that can hopefully get them to communicate what's going on in their life with us. It's certainly something my law firm does. We sue people for this, and it is one of the toughest cases, either one, on the planet to handle, because you have a family that feels helpless and like they couldn't stop something they felt they could have stopped. Then you have a damaged elderly person or child, so it's double the harm.
And you're talking about also emotional abuse too, and that's so hard to figure out as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How is a way that parents could find a daycare that is safe for their children? Is there a definite way?
Yeah, I would check, especially with daycares, the Better Business Bureau, because they get reported about frequently. I would check the health department. I would check every government public website to see if they have been sanctioned for any reason. I'd want to make sure that they're licensed and bonded, number one, registered with the Secretary of State, a real company, not just someone who has a house where they're taking care of kids. That tends to be terrible. You definitely want a professional. And do your homework. Look into the facility. Make sure their license is in good standing, they're well insured. Make sure they've not been in trouble by any of the supervisory boards.
And if they're not up to par?
Don't take the baby there.
Dallas, thank you so
Hey,
much.
lovely being with you guys as
Yeah, you
always.
too.
Just
Thank
awesome
you.
seeing you guys. You look great. You look so
Thank
lovely
you.
in your outfit.
Thank you.
And I love the Kenneth Cole, my friend. Love the jeans.
Thank you, sir.
If you feel your parents or your kids have been harmed in someone's care, get the help you need. For more information on Dallas's services, call the number on your screen or go to G Dallas Horton.